Jeff Kelly, Associate Superintendent, External.
Clinton Birch, Associate Superintendent, Internal.
Michael Willow, Director of School Facilities.
Uriah Cummings, School Financial Operations Officer.
Alexandra Kreiner, Director of Accountability.
Jessica Austin, Director of Office of Instructional Leadership.
Amon Gilliam, Assistant Superintendent, Division of Instruction and Support.
James Agee, Investigator and School Safety Liaison.
Lapui, Finance Officer.
Christy Day, Director of Communications.
Okay. Next on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Been moved, Mr. Dunleavy.
Second.
Second, Ms. White. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is delegations. Ms. Day, good morning.
Good morning, President Hardesty, Vice President Vick, Superintendent Blatt, members of the board. We have with us 6 delegations today. Each delegation will have 3 minutes to present to the board. Our first delegation is Christina Scarberry. She's the parent of a student, and she wants to speak on the issue of situation at Hayes Middle School. Christina Scarberry, are you here? Moving on, Kimberly Mills, Dunlow Elementary School, wants to speak of the closure and consolidation and future implications. Ms. Mills.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I wish it were under different circumstances. My last visit here was much more pleasant. In a few moments, there'll be a vote about my school, and I understand how difficult and complex these decisions are, and I hope my words offer a moment of reflection, not just for today, but in the future. I've spent more than 17 and a half years working as a teacher and administrator, and during that time, I have seen how far decisions get to be at schools. On their own, these decisions seem manageable, and over time they add up. It's like a continually adding weight to a plate without taking anything off until eventually it breaks. The context matters, especially now. So far in the 2026 regular session, more than 2,200 bills have been introduced statewide, making it one of the most active sessions in recent history. Education remains one of the most frequently addressed topics, second only to budget and tax issues, which ultimately determine what the state's plate can support. Looking back at 2025, the department's Green Book shows 33 public education bills were enacted. It's an important reminder that education policy does not implement itself. Passing law is only part of the work. The systems that support those laws, especially school funding, must work for the schools as they exist today. This is where the role of the board and the department is critical, translating that policy into practice and serving as the bridge between legislation and the daily reality of schools. Since 2024, at least 31 public schools have been affected by closure and consolidation. 19 schools were fully closed. This is if you closed every school in Clay, Calhoun, Doddridge, Gilmer, and Grant counties at once. It's important to pause and ask why this is happening at this pace. Enrollment decline is real, but it's only the factor. Especially policy choices related to funding play a major role in determining what communities can adapt and what are left with closing as the only option. West Virginia's funding system has not had a meaningful overhaul in decades. I was not even in school the last time. There was block grants of 2019, but that only affected a few. Most changes since then have focused on oversight or technical fixes rather than long-standing structural funding challenges. The RAND Corporation recently delivered a report to the West Virginia legislature to help explain what we are seeing. RAND found that statewide enrollment has declined in 15% over the past decade, and while the funding formula itself is already influencing school closures in ways the state never fully intended. When enrollment drops, counties lose state aid faster. They can reduce fixed costs, such as transportation, staffing requirements, and building maintenance. The report also cautions that closing or consolidating schools without correcting funding and equities disproportionately harm rural and high-need communities. In the end, education policy is not measured here or at the Capitol. It's measured in classrooms, in the daily work of educators, school service personnel, and the experiences of students and families.
Our next delegation is Delegate Henry C. Dillon of the West Virginia House of Representatives, representing Wayne and Mingo counties, to speak on the issue of the closure of Genoa Elementary School and Dunlop Elementary.
Members of the board, Superintendent Blatt, we've heard from Principal Mills some very pressing matters regarding our beloved community schools in Wayne County, Genoa and Dunlop Elementary. I want to share some things I've heard from the Wayne County Board of Education, what I know, what I don't know, and what I've heard. So I've heard about the declining birth and the enrollment rates. I've heard about Wayne County saving $1.6 million by closing these two schools. What I haven't heard and what I don't know is what it would take in savings to actually keep the schools open. No one so far has presented that information or offered that analysis. It seems like this is a fairly basic question, yet it's being overlooked in favor of a predetermined conclusion. I do know that education is a right under our state constitution, and that right applies to all children, regardless of factors beyond their control, including their geographical location within a county. I also know that West Virginia is currently the top destination for people who are relocating from other states. And part of the appeal of our state is our rural way of life and our rural communities. Closing these schools might seem to save money today, but it does direct economic damage to our state and weakens our position competitively with other states. You can go almost anywhere in the country and find mega schools, but what we have is valuable and unique. In addition, research from Marshall University by Dr. Bickel and other universities have demonstrated that students from low SES backgrounds perform better in smaller schools located closer to their home neighborhoods. Don't we want to utilize best practices based on solid research? Beyond this, parents in the community are staunchly in favor of keeping the schools open. Travel times are already stretched. Some students are already pushing an hour and they're on waivers. I know these roads really well in southern Wayne County, and some people from outside the county who come in, they mistake some of these roads the buses have to drive on for Hatfield McCoy or outlaw trails. This is a fact. You know, people have a lot of questions. People have questions about why we're doing this, why there was no attempt to obtain an independent review of the county's finances or practices. The county has spent tens of thousands of dollars per year for the past several years for a consultant from Washington, D.C. to come in and tell our teachers how to teach. But yet we can't even accept an independent financial analysis. It seems like closure of these schools has been plan A, B, and C from the start. And I'm aware of a certain gentleman who's an expert in Lean Six Sigma, like Amazon uses to find savings. The Board of Education didn't accept his offer for pro bono work to identify savings to save our schools. I have a lot more. Sorry, I'm out of time. Save our schools.
Our next delegation is Dan Butcher of Harmon, West Virginia, to speak on the Harmon School.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to make a few comments. And my comments this morning are directed to you, President Hardesty. I've listened to your remarks prefacing some of these meetings. You speak well, passionately. I agree with many of your statements. The legislature has not done its job in passing effective, appropriate, and timely legislation governing our schools. Public schools don't operate on a level playing field with Hope Scholarship recipients or charter schools, and I acknowledge that. But unfortunately, you and your fellow board members have also not done your job. You claim that you don't like consolidation and simply point your finger at the legislature when we challenge the decisions you make. That's not leadership. True leadership doesn't excuse or hide its own failings or place blame and point fingers at someone else. True leadership admits its failures and engages those its harshest critics. To whom are you and this board accountable? What deliberation and verification of information do you perform? All school closure issues are not the same. You base decisions on an algorithm of false data and feel like you've done your job. In the case of Harmon School, in our formal appeal, we have provided sworn statements that refute information on which you based the school closure decision. Has anyone from this board or department investigated the inaccuracies and omissions in Harmon's impact statement? Who is held accountable for submitting and acting upon false statements? No longer will we be ignored. It is our children you are charged with educating. They deserve your best, and we expect accountability. President Hardesty, this is not the coal industry. Parents and community members can be powerful allies in your efforts to improve our academic system. We have repeatedly asked to be part of the discussion, part of the solution. At every state Board of Education meeting I've attended, I've asked you to engage us. I make that same request today. Thank you.
Our next delegation is Susan Parsons, speaking on the topic of truth.
Good morning. I'm going to be reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 32 and 33. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer, Selah. I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and my iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin, Selah. For this shall every one that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance, Selah. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which has no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, you righteous, and shout for joy, all you that are upright in heart. Rejoice in the Lord, O you righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with harp, sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song, play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loves righteousness and judgment. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the hosts of them, by the breath of his mouth. He gathers the waters of the sea together as a heap. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord brings the counsel of the heathen to naught. He makes the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord stands forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. The Lord looks from heaven, he beholds all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation, he looks upon all the inhabitants of the earth. He fashions their hearts alike, he considers all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety. God bless you. Have a happy Valentine's Day.
And our final delegation is Mickey Blackwell of West Virginia Principals Association.
You hold on. I wasn't here last month, so I'm assuming I get 6 minutes. So 4 topics real quick. It did my heart good when I walked in today and saw the celebration of Black History Month on the board as I walked in as an employee and alumni of West Virginia State University, one of the greatest Black college in history and Black university and college. I would like to say we are a living laboratory, example of what can be done when we reach out, when we embrace diversity and inclusion, and when we make sure that everyone is treated well and invited in. So happy Black History. I hope everybody reads your books this month. Get out your Toni Morrison, get out your history of jazz, and get everything that you can and educate yourself. Speaking of educating yourself, I hope everyone heard Dr. Oz speaking yesterday about vaccinations when he said, "Take the vaccinations, please." That is a member of the federal government urging everyone to take measles vaccinations as well as other vaccinations. I hope that message rings free and clear to everyone across West Virginia. And I want to thank you folks for doing everything that you have done to support our children and to keep our children safe by supporting vaccinations for our students in West Virginia. Thank you. And I want to say that again. I thank you all for your strong support and everything that you've done. 3, just heard Happy Valentine's Day. Wore my pink tie for it. If you've never been in a school on Valentine's Day, then you haven't experienced one of the greatest days you'll ever have. And I mean that without a bit of truth. It's National Trauma Day. Kids want to know who got flowers, who didn't get flowers, who bought somebody candy, who's going to the dance, who's not going to dance. And that's just the staff. Okay. The kids are even crazier. And I invite you to go and visit and see what it is to be a principal, a vice principal, an English teacher on this day when they're all wanting to know who's going to the dance or who's wearing somebody else's jacket, and you're trying to get a predicate adjective concept across. It is one of the most challenging days in all of school, and I hope that everybody goes out and visits the school tomorrow and gets to see it. Last thing is that we were in the National Principals Leadership Conference this weekend in Washington, D.C. We had a couple of principals in attendance. You always want to know, how can we make West Virginia number one? Well, the West Virginia Principals Association was named the number one state association in terms of growth of membership by 39%. We beat out 2 other states, and then we beat out 47 other states. So if anyone within the sound of my voice is not in our membership, we need you for next year because we plan on winning it again. And we want to thank you all for letting us speak and represent all the principals, the vice principals, some administrators at central office, and everyone across the state. Thank you.
There are no other delegations.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is school safety update. Mr. Whitlow and Mr. Agee.
President Hardesty, good morning. Superintendent Blatt, members of the board. Quick safety update. There was about 40 school threats that were last month in January. And all these were addressed through, established protocols with the county and state personnel. So I always want to commend them for the work they do. They chase after these things and find out what's happening. As far as coordination, the emergency management division and the school safety officers are working to kind of get those school maps in a platform that is easily accessible by everybody. So that, again, I commend them for their work to kind of make sure that data is available in the quickest manner possible. The school safety unit is also working on several training opportunities for basic officer training courses that was required by law last year. 4 of those are coming out. Behavioral threat assessment management courses, Project Unite, which is West Virginia is only one of 4 in the nation to have this, and it's put on by the National Association of School Resource Officers. And then some crime prevention classes this summer for school personnel. So a lot of opportunities for training for teachers and staff and state safety officials is happening. Any questions regarding school safety?
Any questions, Mr. Whitlow? Thank you. Next is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. White. Second, Mr. Dunleavy. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next is new business, amendment of Wayne County Schools 2020-2030 Comprehensive Educational Facilities Plan. Mr. Whitlow.
Good morning again. The CEFP amendment for Wayne County Schools, policy 6200 requires all local boards to submit amendments to this board and the School Building Authority for approval. And the Wayne County Board of Education is doing so. And it's to revise their CEFP to change where these closures were going. Originally, they were proposed to go into a new building, and now they are going to be dispersed amongst existing buildings. So that is their CEFP amendment to align with their closure action to follow.
Any questions, Mr. Whitlow? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve Wayne County Schools request to amend their 2020-2030 CEFP? It's been moved by Mr. Gabriel.
Second.
Who is that? Second?
I second.
It's been seconded by Mr. Dunleavy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm sorry. I thought I heard someone on the call. Next is Wayne County Schools closures. Mr. Whitlow.
Wayne County Board of Education respectfully requests approval to close Dunlow Elementary School and Genoa Elementary School and merge them into Crum Pre-K 8, Eastland Elementary School, and Wayne Elementary School respectively. These closures are not contingent on any other actions and are proposed to occur at the end of the 25-26 school year. In consideration of these closures, applicable board policies were reviewed and followed, and documents were available for public inspection for the required period. Public hearings were held on January 20th for Dunlow, January 21st for Crum Pre-K 8, January 22nd for Genoa, and January 23rd for Eastland and Wayne Elementary Schools. And then the Wayne County Board of Education approved these closures at their January 28th board meeting. I'm available for questions, or Mr. Cummings, if any finance questions.
Any questions, Mr. Whitlow? Any of Mr. Cummings? Go ahead and ask the question.
Was there a unanimous vote to close those schools by the locally elected officials? Was it unanimous or was it a split vote?
I think one voted against it, if I'm correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'd like for Mr. Alexander to come forward, please, too. I got a couple questions, and Mr. Cummings can help answer these as well.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Was this same closure proposed last year?
We had discussions about going through the process. Last year, I discussed it with the board that, we were with the enrollment loss that the district was facing, that it was becoming more and more of a necessity to reduce our footprint. At that time, the board wanted to wait to give the legislature a chance to address the school funding formula, and that took us into this year.
Okay. And Mr. Gabriel has established that it was a 4-1 vote.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's where we're heading with this. What is the proposed savings if you close these schools, and versus what is the deficit you'll run by keeping these schools open another year?
The savings will be 1.6 annually. The cost of operating the schools is approximately 2.1 million a year. When we disperse these students to other schools, if approved here by the state board, we'll have to add some staffing at the other schools. So the overall savings will be approximately 1.6 million. We had a carryover last year. Our year-end number was just short of $2 million. We're on the financial watch list. The state has recommended that our carryover should be 5 million or more. As we proceed into next year, we're going to have increased PEIA cost. There's talk in the legislature of raises, which is going to raise some of the local costs as well. We also have a replacement construction project that's getting ready to happen. We're getting ready to reduce our footprint by building a K-8 school in Buffalo. It's a addition to the existing middle school. That elementary school is in serious need of replacement, and we need to free up some operating capital for that project as well. So going into the planning session, we needed to reduce approximately $4.2 million. And so those cuts are going to come from across the district at all levels, including central office, and non-classroom positions. This closure will be about 38% of the savings that are necessary for us to be able to balance our budget for next year.
Okay, and if you were to not go forward with this proposed closure, where does that put your budget for fiscal year 27?
It would put us at zero. It would put us at a $1.6 million deficit from the cuts that we've identified so far. Now, if the state board did not approve that closure, I would have to identify additional cuts in the other schools. What our problem is that over the past decade, we've lost 1,600 students. And that 1,600 students equates to the enrollment population of 9 of our current schools. So we operate currently 18 schools. That enrollment loss over the past decade would close down 9 of those schools. At the time, there were 20 schools operating. A couple have been consolidated. And so this is the third step to reduce that footprint. We also suffered a loss of 220 students this year, 215 to 220 students this school year, which was a loss of 1.3 million in state revenue that we're facing for next year. So all that plus the PEIA increase, the BREM increase, all of that has compounded where we need to cut 4.2 million if we're going to stay solvent.
Okay, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I will anyhow, because that's just who I am. And if I feel led to say something, I try to say it. And for the people listening today, if my comments over the past several months, if all they've heard from my comments that I'm blaming the legislature for the shortcomings of public education in West Virginia, that I've not done a very good job communicating my position, because I'm not doing that. Public education, this model we currently operate under, has been broken for 3 decades at least. Didn't start today, didn't start yesterday. It's been a problem for going on 3 decades. I've tried to outline what the rules and regulations are that public education has and the discrepancies for said laws and rules that school choice does not have. I've tried to illustrate that to the best of my ability. Obviously, I may have failed doing that as well, but the facts are what they are. I'm going to liken this to a comment by the Apostle Paul. It puts us in a strait betwixt two. Do you do what's financially prudent, like in the situation that Wayne County is trying to do today? Or do you do what like happened up in Hancock County? The legislature has pushed local control for 10 years. So we don't want Charleston. We don't want these unelected bureaucrats telling people what to do in Charleston. So we let Hancock County do what they wanted to do. Well, they ran the car in the ditch, and then the legislature calls me and calls her and says, hey, take them over. Got to stop. Take them over now. Got to stop. They're going to have to find a way to fund a shortcoming. And again, I'm not trying to cast blame on anyone. This board of unelected bureaucrats, we have to make tough decisions when elected bureaucrats choose not to. Pretty simple. It's not real hard to digest. And the problem is because in the past 10 years, social media has got so important. People that are brave keyboard commandos run to social media and talk about stuff they know about 10% about, and 90% of it's falsehood. And the sad part is the public eats it up. They don't know the facts. I put out some documentation, and I would encourage every media outlet in the state to take a copy of this. This is the financial status of every county in the state of West Virginia. How many they're over formula, what their carryover balances are. Don't take my word for nothing. Look at the facts. Tough decisions have to be made to try to eradicate a broken system. I'm not casting blame at the legislature. I'm looking for help. It's going to take all parties concerned, the legislature, the administration, this department, because this board only oversees one individual. I have no oversight over any of the other 200 employees in that building. Have one. Well, 2 is secretary, excuse me. We have 2. We make our decisions based off the recommendations that we get in this department. And before we take a vote again this morning, I'm going to say this again. We are going to make, the unelected bureaucrats are going to make decisions that the elected bureaucrats, in some cases, don't want to make. Now, your board have made a tough decision. It has ripped the guts out of two little communities that I know very well. Some of the best gospel music ever heard was in Genoa, West Virginia. The Comfort Quartet. Been at my church. We're ripping the hearts out of these communities. But you can't have it both ways. The law is the law. You have to operate in a financially sound, responsible manner. I don't have all the answers, ladies and gentlemen. I don't. We make the best decisions possible on the information presented to us. And sure, people can come and try to pick it apart, but bring all the facts. Don't just bring the ones you want. Don't bring the 10% and leave the 90% behind. It's not fair. Mr. Gabriel.
I try to help you out for just a minute. So what you're telling us, Superintendent, is that what happens if you don't close that school or those schools?
Then we have to identify $1.6 million in cuts in other parts of the district, or our fund balance will continue to decrease.
So what you're telling me is you're going to get in the same situation that Hancock County is.
Yes,
That if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to meet your payroll at some point in time.
correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that the decision? So you have continued to lose students. And of course, the funding formula funds your county based on the number of students you have. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And before we take this vote in closing, we have counties all across the state right now going through RIF and transfers. It's the most horrible time of the school year. When I was a member of the Logan County Board, one of the first actions I had to RIF my sister-in-law. That was really good at the family dinner table. It was kind of tough, but I had to do it because I had a job to do. Mingo County, the county right next to where I live, complained yesterday because the state appointed superintendent had to go in and cut about 80 positions. And then again, people run to Facebook and said, how dare that lady come from Charleston to make these cuts? Well, the reason she had to make the cuts is because the last 3 years, Mingo County chose not to make any cuts. And they're going to be facing the same scenario, insolvency. I can't make people understand this. This is not choices we want to make. These are issues that are there that have to be addressed. I'm going to say it for the third time. This unelected bureaucratic board will have to make the decisions that elected. And Howard O'Connell, I want you to tell your people this at your training next week. You tell them that the reason we have to do this is because the elected bureaucrats, they can't stand the heat on Facebook because they don't have the guts to make the tough decisions. Now, the ones that have the guts, I applaud you. It's tough. This ain't no easy job. You know, we took these jobs for the money. We make $100 a month to be ridiculed by everybody in the state. I'm not trying to pick at the legislature. I'm looking for a willing partner to try to find solutions to a 30-year broken system. And ladies and gentlemen, it's broke. It's not bent, it's broken. I've been on this board 4 years. And it's the toughest job I think I've ever tried to do. And I feel like I'm failing miserably at it, but I'm not going to give up because there's 200 some thousand kids in this state that depend on us. They deserve to have the same opportunities that I had growing up. And we want to make sure that they get those. With that, is there any other questions for Mr. Alexander, Uriah, or Micah? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Excuse me.
I have two questions. I'm sorry. Micah, has the county adhered to all of the procedural, statutory, and policy requirements that have to be met to close and consolidate schools?
Yes, sir.
They've adhered to everything, correct?
Yes, sir.
Superintendent Blatt, does the closure or consolidation continue to ensure the delivery of a thorough and efficient education to the students affected by these closures?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Wayne County Schools closure, consolidation, and all necessary policy waivers as presented?
So move.
It's been moved by Mr. Gabriel, second by Mr. Dunleavy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next is Logan County Schools update. Ms. Kreiner.
Good morning. As a result of a special circumstance review report presented by the WVDE Office of Accountability, Logan County Schools has been under state control since October of 2022. While the initial report identified deficiencies in multiple areas of operation throughout the county, additional areas of focus have been identified and addressed over roughly 3.5 years. Every 6 months during this intervention, this board has been provided with an update of the progress made toward building the local capacity for sustained improvement, establishing systems that ensure compliance, and providing students with the highest quality educational opportunities. Since November 2025, Dr. Sonia White has served as the superintendent of Logan County Schools. She is here today to speak on her first 100 or so days in office as the superintendent and to discuss the county's status in the attainment of the intervention goals.
Good morning, President Hardesty, Superintendent Blatt, and members of the board. I have two statements today. Our board president, Mr. Tony Dean, prepared one. I can either read it or save it, give it to you for later, whichever you do. And then I have a few remarks.
You can just provide that to Superintendent Blatt and go ahead and speak. Ms. White.
Okay. Well, as Alex referenced, it's been a fast and furious 103 days down in Logan County. I feel like, we have the 100 days school celebrations with kids. I'm celebrating my 100 days here. Since that time, we've made great strides in developing a vision and path forward for Logan County schools. The system had many good things already in place. They just needed some additional organizational thinking and support to maintain the positive trajectory. The mantra we have adopted as a system is our action support, first and foremost, what is best for the students, period. This is achieved through transparency, collaboration, and capacity building, all of which are essential to ensure a stable future for our school system. Started this journey by reaching out to our board members and at the local level and sharing with them some of the challenges we are facing, as well as the concerns they hear from the community. I met with each board member individually to discuss where we are, where we want to be, and how we can get there. I strive to keep them informed of items that they may be asked about as they interact with community members, and also work to get answers to the questions they have. They have proven as a board to be helpful, thoughtful, and supportive of the changes during my time there. They understand the importance of short-term actions to achieve long-term positive results. Under Mr. Dean's leadership as a board president, he's listening today due to a previous family commitment he has. The board is cohesive and works well together to have complete understanding of the nature of their role to serve the community, even under the current takeover situation. They are ambassadors to the community on my behalf, and I appreciate every one of them. The next step in this journey was to reorganize the central office duties to ensure nothing was left to chance or missed. Initially, it was difficult to determine the roles and responsibilities of central office staff and if any type of collaboration existed. The central office is now divided into two divisions, academics and student support. Academics, the Chief Academic Officer, Camille Evans, oversees 4 offices. They are special education, elementary education, federal programs, attendance, and assessment. And she also kept her duties as the secondary education. The Chief Student Support Officer, Eric Ellis, also oversees 4 offices, transportation, child nutrition, facilities and maintenance, and technology. And he kept his duties regarding Title IX oversight. They each are responsible for their directors and other staff under their supervision to ensure the work is getting done and on time. 2 other offices, personnel and financial operations, report directly to me. And that's how we've reorganized the office. Several individuals are new to their positions and have hit the ground running. And in the few short months, we have learned so much as a group about all aspects of running the school system: funding, communication, planning, and collaboration. There is no one keeper of the information. We all work together to understand how our individual assignments connect to the greater overall picture of a cohesive school system. I want to also recognize Mrs. Klein's assistant in this endeavor, and it cannot be understated. She schedules and keeps projects moving and serves as a mentor to our directors. We want our central office staff to grow in their knowledge, make changes to our system to ensure efficiency, transparency, and stability for our students and educators. We want to be effective and efficient in everything we do. We have made significant progress to create a central office where everyone understands their role and leads with strength and service. At the school level, the administrators are working in the past 2 years, and they have established curriculum and leadership teams with their schools to support professional development, improving student achievement, and to support them in every way we can from the central office. And due to retirements and job changes, we have 5 new principals currently that have been added since I've been there, and a new assistant. And we're working to support these new leaders and to build their capacity. Now, the next few months are going to bring us some challenging situations. As President Hardesty mentioned, it's personnel season. We are currently examining our personnel needs for the next year. And based on our decreasing enrollment projections and desire to be fiscally responsible, staffing reductions at all levels will be a reality. We're not in any type of financial distress yet, but we need to ensure we address the needs of our students by providing qualified educators, clean and well-maintained facilities, access to supports to address non-academic student needs, and extracurricular activities for all student interest while staying within our budget. We must make changes now in order to ensure a financially sound future. Our local board over the past few months has demonstrated they are ready and capable to begin to reassume some of their roles restricted by the October 22nd placement under state control. It is my hope the department will recommend and this board will approve returning some responsibilities back to the local Board of Education. I know this is a high-level overview of the past 3 months, and it only covers just the tip of the iceberg, but there has been a flurry of high-quality work going on in Logan County. I've enjoyed getting to know the hardworking staff in Logan County schools and being their advocate for change and to help them see the possibilities for improvement that lie ahead. We are laying the groundwork for a school system that will thrive and grow because we are taking the time to build capacity, maintain transparency, improve efficiency, and keep our focus on the most important thing, the children of Logan County. Thank you, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you. Any questions of Ms. White? I have a comment, Ms. White. I want to commend you on the work you've done in your first 100 days there in Logan. I feel like you have accomplished more in 100 days than we have collectively in the last 2 years. And I mean that sincerely. And talking to people there that are in the system, someone's got a spring in their step now. And instead of just complaining, you're starting to hear positives. They like the changes that you've made. I believe you have a good man in Mr. Dean that's president of your board. Everything I've heard about him and from what people are telling me, he's a good man. And I think he's bought into what you're trying to accomplish as well. So kudos to you for the work you've done. You and
Thank you.
Ms. Klein, I appreciate your help and what you've done in Logan. I think we're starting to see significant progress.
Thank you.
With that, Superintendent Blatt, excuse me. Sure. Push the button.
Sonia, I've talked to you a couple of times and I've seen a change, and I really see a change this morning. When you first went down there, you didn't smile.
I think I was overwhelmed.
You smiled this morning, Paul. Yes, sir. You are smiling, and that's a good sign. I know you had a very, very difficult job, and I want to echo Mr. Hardesty's remarks. I applaud you, and I thank you for all you've done.
It's my pleasure. I'm enjoying the work.
Any other questions? Superintendent Blatt?
President Hardesty and members of the board, I think based on the conversations that I have had with Dr. White and then also with several of the board members, I do believe that the majority of the local board has bought into this direction that Dr. White is leading with the new organization and with Mrs. Klein. So I'd like to recommend that we return the policies to the
Okay, you've heard the recommendation of Superintendent Blatt. Is there a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
Been moved by Ms. White, second by Mr. Gabriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next is Pocahontas County Schools update. Ms. Kreiner.
In February 2025, this board was presented with a report of the special circumstance review conducted by the Office of Accountability at Pocahontas County High School. Upon receiving the report, the board voted to declare that a state of emergency exists in Pocahontas County schools. In August 2025, based on the findings of a recent special education monitoring, the board voted to extend the state of emergency for an additional 6-month period to support targeted special education assistance. Superintendent Dr. Letha Williams will present a status report on the correction of the identified deficiencies. At the conclusion of her update, it will be necessary for the board to take action with regard to the state of emergency status. This may include immediate intervention in the operation of the school system, extending the state of emergency for an additional 6-month period, or lifting the state of emergency status with the assurance that improvement efforts are sustained. Dr. Williams?
Thank you, Board President Hardesty, other members of the West Virginia Board of Education, and Superintendent Blatt for this opportunity to speak and provide an update on the status of the state of emergency for Pocahontas County Schools. Before I begin today's update, I would like to recognize President Emery Grimes and Frosty McNabb, our attending board members, along with Deirdre Klein, our WVDE liaison, for their instrumental support and helping us address our noncompliance. The materials in your packet are organized by topic with accompanying artifacts to support the areas I will be reviewing today. I want to frame everything in the relationship of our county slogan for the year, Stronger Together. Everything that you will hear and see today will be about building common protocols, procedures, that are embedded in law and policy. My approach in Pocahontas County Schools has focused on improving climate and culture through relationship building, clear protocols, and transparency. I have incorporated Michael Fullen's motion leadership framework, emphasizing a ready, fire, aim approach that prioritizes action, reflection, and adjustment while promoting collaboration, trust, and continuous system-level improvement embedded in shared purpose and policy. Today, I would like to begin with the Pocahontas County High School. The identified areas of noncompliance included a comprehensive school counseling program, grade transcribing and scheduling, leadership, positive and safe school environment, and special education. Artifact 1 in your packet is the comprehensive school counseling plan for Pocahontas County High School. This plan has been completed and is currently being implemented. On August 13th, I presented to the West Virginia Board of Education my intent to realign counseling service in Pocahontas County to ensure Pocahontas County High School had appropriate school counseling services in place. That process has now been completed, and the revised job description is included, Artifact 2. In addition to the counseling services being realigned, the district employs a full-time community in schools representative and continues to partner with Youth Health Services and Seneca Mental Health to provide additional student support. Beginning next year, a graduation coach will be hired to further support college and career planning for our students. Artifacts 3, 4, and 5 address noncompliance indicator 2, grading, transcribing, and scheduling. These include the transcription documentation form and process, superintendent memorandum on grading periods and report cards, and the county's grade transcription process. Administrators and secretaries have also been trained to ensure consistent and compliance across our county. The third area of noncompliance identified was leadership. In summary, the lack of effective working relationships between the central office staff, the superintendent, and the schools was the issue. These concerns were also reflected in our 2025 LEA Compliance Monitoring Report for special education. This issue was addressed through central office reorganization, clearly defined roles, regular school visits, and formalized administrative guidance through superintendent memorandums to ensure consistent policy-based decision-making. Artifacts 6 and 7 provide examples of that guidance I provided. The fourth area of compliance, positive and safe school environment, is addressed through documentation confirming all of our school crisis plans, Artifact 8, and a comprehensive checklist of those plans have been provided to show they've been approved by the West Virginia Department of Education and are being fully implemented. Moving on to the 2025 LEA Compliance Monitoring Report for Special Education, while the report identified several areas of concern, the primary areas that I will address today involve the systematic findings related to service verification, certifications and caseload, instructional groupings, compliance with the accountability expectation, and compliance with West Virginia Code 18-2011 regarding cameras and audio requirements. During the August 1 meeting, I outlined a course of action for Pocahontas County Schools included in your packet, are Artifacts 10 through 14, which address part of the plan from that meeting. Artifacts 10 and 11 are the training agendas for our Principals Leadership Academy and our Teachers Academy. I have included these as to demonstrate my role in providing administrative oversight as superintendent. The first step in addressing areas of concern is identifying issues at a system-wide level and implementing structured, systematic training to correct them. The process began with whole group training facilitated by Ms. Lydia Young, who is a trusted resource for the West Virginia Department of Education and is currently acting as a consultant and mentor for Pocahontas County Schools. She worked alongside me and various WVDE staff in planning and supporting our debriefings. Following the debriefing sessions, I transitioned to a more targeted support through small group trainings with principals and grade level reviews with teachers in the format of professional learning communities. These training sessions with teachers ensured understanding and consistent implementation of expectations across our county. Additionally, the job description for the special education teachers were revised to clearly define case manager responsibilities and expectations. As part of the report's recommendation, I also created and filled the position of IEP compliance specialist. Those job descriptions are included in your packet as Artifacts 12 and 13. Following the hiring of the compliance specialist, we developed and implemented a 3-tiered system of support for checks and balances to ensure IEPs are completed accurately and consistently in our county. At each level, the IEP compliance list is used as a guiding tool. The 3 levels of review for each IEP includes the teacher, the principal, and the special education director. This process establishes a structured district-wide system for monitoring and regulating IEP development and ensuring ongoing compliance. The IEP compliance checklist is included in your packet as Artifact 14. To address overall compliance with instructional planning and the use of standards, each school has developed a lesson plan format that requires the identification of standards used in daily instruction. In addition, I have provided professional development through Solution Tree, focusing on co-teaching, specially designed instruction, and effective classroom management procedures. Artifact 15 represents those trainings. Another finding for multiple schools was our positive behavior support program. Countywide, we have adopted CHAMPS as our foundational framework for PBIS implementation. The same professional trainers from Solution Tree will return to each school to conduct classroom walkthroughs and provide teachers with targeted support and feedback on the implementation of those trainings. Prior to their return, our principals have aligned our eWalks, teacher observation platform, to the training expectations and are actively monitoring the implementation through walkthroughs in our classrooms. In closing, I would like to note that as part of a comprehensive reset of our system and in alignment with the theme Stronger Together, members of the Board of Education and all central office staff participated in a training provided by Dr. Howard O'Call of the West Virginia School Board Association and Jason Long, our county attorney, on board protocols, processes, and procedures. This training established clear operational guidance for our board members, the county office staff, and the public regarding expectations and procedures for conducting our board meetings. I have also realigned the structure of our central office and developed a website organized around the areas each director oversees. As procedures and processes are established and refined, guidance documents will be uploaded to the website to formalize and memorialize district processes and ensure consistent implementation across our system. As part of an effort with the board, I also revised the board seating protocol, moving my position to the board table alongside of Board President Emery Grimes, rather than remaining at a separate table, reinforcing collaboration and unified leadership. We have also trained on our local school improvement councils to clarify the role of the board in receiving and conducting the LSIC presentations. I have worked with the board to establish a mission statement, board goals for the system, which are included as Artifact 17. This present While this presentation highlights overall progress, there are many additional processes and supports that have been implemented to correct system-wide issues and bring Pocahontas County Schools back into compliance. As a final note, I want to acknowledge what a difficult job it is to come into a county and deliver information regarding noncompliance. I would like to extend my appreciation publicly to Assistant Superintendent Jeff Kelly and Director Kreiner. I truly and sincerely appreciate their leadership, their guidance, and their support throughout this process. I know I have rushed through many topics. Are there any questions or comments about anything that I have not addressed?
Questions to Dr. Williams?
Put an awful lot of work in there. I don't know how many questions you can ask. You did a really nice job. Thank you for your presentation. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you've done. It's refreshing to see someone that's taken a challenge and put a lot of work into it and got the board to buy into what you're doing. And it's obvious that you've got things heading in the right direction. I talked to your president before the meeting this morning, and I think he feels good about the direction of Pocahontas County Schools. Ladies and gentlemen, this board here does not want to be over any county board of education. Our goal at the end of the day will be all 55 counties standing autonomous, doing their own business, conducting their own business. We do not want to be in the business of taking over counties and having to put people in place. That's not our goal. That's not our desire. But as I stated earlier, sometimes it's a necessity. So thank you for what you've done, the change you brought about, and the fact that your county has bought into that change. With that, Superintendent Blatt, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, sir. Based on the comments that we've heard this morning from Dr. Williams and then the work that has occurred and the monitoring and things we've been done, I would like to recommend that we lift the state of emergency status for Pocahontas County and encourage them as a team at the central office and at the board level to keep their motto of stronger together and the collaboration and to continue on the path that they are leading.
You've heard the recommendation of Superintendent Blatt. Is there a motion to approve? It's been moved by Mr. Dunleavy, second by Ms. White. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Young lady, you got the keys back to the car.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank
Truly,
you.
I appreciate it.
Next on our agenda is West Virginia Board of Education Personnel Matters. Is there a motion to approve the West Virginia Board of Education Personnel Matters? Been moved by Ms. White, second by Mr. Gabriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, is there a motion to approve the Department of Education Personnel Matters? Been moved by Mr. Dunleavy.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gabriel. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next, board member information updates. Mr. Road Truck, you're first.
Not this time, Mr. President.
Went to the WVASA meeting a couple of days last week and I was very impressed. Some of the principals are working or the superintendents are working very, very hard during these snow days. And with the weather the way it is, it's been really difficult. Thank you.
Ms. White. Mr. Dunlap, nothing from the chair. Well, I didn't really forget, but we are going to let Superintendent Blatt provide her department report. Go ahead. I was going to save it till next month.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'll be very brief. Members, you have in your packets, you have a one pager on the opening of our blue and gold building at West Virginia School for the Deaf and Blind. Not only was that building renovated and able to be open again to serve our students, but it is also have opened the Appalachian Cafe, which is a career and technical education culinary program that our students at the School for Deaf and Blind are participating in, and they will be running the cafe there. You also have a copy of our appropriation request that we have before the legislature right now. And then I'll provide you a brief update just on, there's been a lot of work going on with supports that we've had in place, identifying what are the schools and the districts we truly need to focus on. Uriah Cummings and his team has spent a lot of time in most of our intervention counties, working with them on this RIF and transfer season to make sure that we don't have similar situations like we've seen in Hancock County. Multiple offices have been working with and in Hancock County since our last board meeting. We actually had staff there that afternoon to make sure things were in order. Mr. Kelly and Mr. Cummings and Mr. Sheldon were on site that following Monday, the 19th, to start planning next steps. We've had daily communications through either emails, texts, Teams meetings, or people on site every day since the situation was presented to us in January. As of right now, this February 2nd board meeting, Mr. Kelly, Cummings, and Sheldon again were on site, and we're continuing to work through the RIF and transfer. Once we get past personnel season and get that lined up, we'll be able to provide a more thorough update as to the other situations in Hancock County schools.
Okay, questions, Superintendent Blatt? Hearing none, the next board meeting will be held March 11th, 2016 or 2026 here in Charleston, West Virginia. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been moved by Ms. White, second Mr. Dunleavy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.